What's going on, everyone? It's Adam and Craig with Grandstand Golf. In this show, we're doing round 2 DFS Showdown targets for the 2021 American Express. Amex.
The Amex American Express.
The Amex American Express. We are planning to go live tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. Eastern to talk about round 3 Showdown. If that is something of interest, let us know in the comments below. Of course, the video will be available afterwards for replay.
Yeah, so basically the plan is essentially we're going to do the same thing we do now, except we're going to do it live and then chat a little bit more at the end, and just whoever's in the chat we'll chat with. I might have got a little bit ahead of myself saying that we were going to do that today because wives and families don't like it when you just spring these things on them during dinner time. But yeah, I think we're going to make that happen tomorrow. So tune in if you're interested.
Yeah. Hopefully you can join us 9:30 p.m. tomorrow. We're going to talk about Saturday and the rest of the weekend. But yeah, looking back at Thursday, Craig, round 1, Siwoo Kim is the only one there from Stadium Course. Seems to be.
You're just feeling great about yourself. You're a one and done pick.
I think he's going to make the weekend. I don't want to jinx myself, like knock on wood right now, but I think he's going to make the weekend.
Yeah, everyone else though is Nicklaus Course. It looked, clearly a scoring edge over there. And then also both courses we did see better scoring in the morning than the afternoon. A little bit wind. I don't know if it's also just a little bit greens firming up throughout the day.
Right.
But really, that's just a bit of speculation. And it looks like, for tomorrow, it looks like we will get a little bit more wind in the afternoon. So just generally, I think there's a good case to be made for the Nicklaus, stacking the Nicklaus
Before
course.
we look at the weather real quick, I do want to talk about the Nicklaus stack. I think anybody that is tracking kind of the course in any kind of stats there will notice that the Nicklaus is easier, and people are going to go all 6 on the Nicklaus. I think for game theory, there is an argument to go 1 or 2 possibly from the Stadium to mix it up and to have a unique lineup.
Yeah, and I mean, I would make the argument that to do that and then to look at guys early, because if you look at the averages, the 1.33 in the morning in the Stadium is almost the same as the Nicklaus in the afternoon today. So if we see similar things tomorrow, then I think that's a good play. But looking at the weather, onto the weather. There's a big spike, a huge spike, all the way up to 12 miles an hour. So, it's funny, but that is bigger than any wind that was out there today. So, and
when you have this much water, these many bunkers, I mean, it is different. I mean, that 17th green, it can blow.
Yeah, so you get that tiny little green that you have to hit with a small target golf. It really changes it when you do have to face a bit more wind. And that's just the one thing I wanted to bring up here. This is a beautiful hole. This is the Stadium Course number 16.
Honestly, that looks like a video game. Like that could be.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Tiger Woods.
But so this is looking essentially right down the valley. We're looking almost straight south right now. And this is the hole that there was the largest discrepancy from the morning to the afternoon. So the wind actually shifted, and it would have been coming right into the player's face playing into this hole. And that's what it's supposed to be doing tomorrow. So when that wind picks up, whoever's going to be playing this hole at that time, the average or the birdie or better percentages went from 61% in the morning to all the way down to 43%. So it's par 5. So there's there's a lot of scores to be made still, but there was eagles in the morning, there was none in the afternoon. So there's much better scoring to be had when that wind is not blowing as hard in your face on that hole.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that is significant. Let's jump into our picks though if we have nothing else.
Let's do it.
Okay, my first pick, Patrick Reed, 9,900. So I am a little teaser. I am going all Nicklaus course here because I think there is an advantage there. So these are my 3 favorite plays on the Nicklaus. He went 68 today, -4, 7 birdies, 1 bogey, 1 double. Almost completely opposite of what we want to see with typical showdown playing. So he was awful stroke C and T to green, -1.245, 59th in the field. Remember, that's only half the field too. So that's 70 odd guys or so, right? Stroke C and putting +4.296. He's first. I don't know if I've really seen a stroke C and putting on an individual day that high before. Like that is crazy putting. But I think he'll correct in round 2. He's an elite player. He's one of the best players in the world. He's 6th in the field in stroke C and tee to green over the past 6 months. So this tee to green on Thursday, I think was an anomaly. I think he'll improve that for Friday. And then lastly, I think at 9,900, he's just below Finau. And people saw the 6 birdies in a row from Finau. I don't know if you might be able to prove me wrong here in a second, but I don't know if Finau's complete game was all there. He had a really good stretch, but it did seem like he was missing a few shots, especially on approach. But I think Patrick Reed might be a good sneaky play off of Finau there.
Yeah, I probably would have had Patrick Reed here if I hadn't already chosen him as my week-long pick. But I was sweating it. So, I mean, you look at the tee to green, he had that double bogey on a par 5, too. So, he's losing 2.5 strokes.
I think
he put 2 in the water. So, he put his drive in the water,
Yeah.
he dropped, and he put his approach in the water. So, if you think, he lost 1.3 strokes tee to green, he lost more than that on that hole, so
Yeah.
aside from that, I was listening to PGA radio at that point because it was before coverage started, and I was just like, oh man, like is Reed going to be a horrible pick for me here and miss the cut? But yeah, so I mean, he went out and made 7 birdies, I think 6 birdies after that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of good play there, and I think the fact that he didn't go crazy low today will keep his ownership down a bit. But yeah, I love the play.
He just kind of overcooked his draw on a water left. But yeah,
he was trying to shape it to the hole and just overcooked it. So pivot off the Finau chalk. I'm going to talk about the Finau chalk here. So 10,100. He was 68, 4 under, 6 birdies, 2 bogeys. He was one of the ones who did have to play that 16th hole we were talking about. I'm pretty sure he made a par there. I can't remember exactly. But the thing that I just want to point out is, so he's playing the Nicklaus tomorrow. Last year at the Nicklaus, he was 68. His other 2 rounds that I could find there, he was 62 last year.
62 last year.
8 under.
Yeah.
Or no, sorry, 10 under, I guess.
10 under.
He was 68 there in 2016 and 65 there in 2015. So he's got a great course history there. I think he has the potential to go stupid low if he is feeling it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then you look at his strokes gained today. He had, he was gaining over a stroke on both approach and off the tee. And then his short game was good, but I think still leaves room to be improved. I think if he putts well, I think his ball striking is so good compared to this field, and just he's playing well for him. I think he has potential to go stupid low that almost he needs to be chalky you have in your lineup, and so I'm going to have him in a decent amount of my lineups.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm playing, let's say 5 tomorrow, I might have him in 2 or 3. Like I've been a little bit cheeky with the Finau pivot, but I think I think he will be highly owned. So
I think he will be highly owned, but if he shoots 62, then not so bad.
Yeah, I want that highly owned. So I'm going to jump way down here, 7,100, Anirban Lahiri. Just a guy who I think has been playing really good golf lately. He played a couple tournaments in India, came over to the Sony Open, had 3 good rounds there, and then opened with a pretty good round here. 68, he's 4 under, 5 birdies, 1 bogey. I believe the bogey was actually on his first hole, and then he had 5 birdies afterwards to get to the 4 under mark. But strokes gained total, he's plus 3.051. He was 5th on the stadium course. He's T32 or better in every strokes gained category. So just like very balanced across the board when you look at his kind of profile for round 1. And I feel like that's how he's been kind of playing so well. Just every kind of facet of his game has been improving. But where he really didn't take advantage is he only hit 57% of his fairways, which is 116th in the field. So we can count the full field counting fairways hit here. And he was only 1 under on the par 5s. So he got most of his birdies on the par 4s. I think if he can take advantage of more par 5s on Friday, he can go much lower than 4 under.
Yeah, I honestly, I haven't looked into him a whole bunch. So I will be, when I'm building my lineups here after this, I'm going to look into him to see if I like the play. He is someone that we've been speaking about. I don't know if we've had him as picks at all in the last couple of weeks, but he's someone that we've sort of tossed around as potential picks. And so, I'm going to look into it. I'm intrigued. I'll give you that.
It seems like his approach play was really good at Sony, and it seemed pretty good again here. So, I think it's going to be kind of sneaky. And a lot of guys in this price range.
And he won't be chalky, I don't think.
Yeah.
So my next one here might be a little bit chalky. Abe Ancer comes in 8,200. He was 69 minus 3. He has 6 birdies, a bogey, and a double. The thing, I think he's a little bit sneaky. His form was sneaky good. He was one of the guys that put it in the drink on 17 on that tiny little green, so he made a double there. But he was in really good shape. I was actually feeling awesome. He's my one and done. So all these guys I've chosen today, they're people I liked going into the week, and then they reinforced it with how they played today. But he's another guy. You look at his last 4 starts at Nicklaus, he's got 67, 69, 67, 67. So, he's over under. I'm saying about 5 under is what I expect from him tomorrow. You look at his stats, he was pretty good everywhere. You think about ball striking being the one that's going to probably carry over the most. I'm pretty sure they would put par 3 into approach. So if you think about him hitting to the drink there, he ended up still positive 0.7, but he would have been, quite a bit better than that. So gaining over a stroke until that point on both approach and off the tee. So I think his game's in good place, and I think his score isn't reflective of how good he was playing out there today.
Yeah, I mean, he's highly chalk. Like, I think he's the second highest owned in most of the tournaments.
And actually, so that price is not right. Just a heads up. That price, I want to say it's 9,000 or 9,100, somewhere around there.
Well, you're not clicking on this anyway, so you'll figure it out when
you'll see when you go to DraftKings. Whatever the price is, I like him at that price.
Okay, my third and final target, Wyndham Clark at 7,000 on DraftKings. He's 2 under right now. He shot a 70 with 5 birdies, 3 bogeys. This is the more kind of traditional showdown stats that we look for. So strokes gained tee to green, he was 15th, plus 2.048, and strokes gained putting, he almost lost a full stroke there. He was 59th. Again, so looking at taking advantage of the scoring opportunities, he was only hit 55% of his fairways, 133rd in the field, like just awful. And he was only 1 under on the par 5s. And this is a player, not in the field, in the entire PGA, he ranks 30th in par 5 scoring. So he didn't capitalize on his par 5 scoring. He still had 5 birdies. So if he goes to the easier course, if he is still hitting it that well, strokes gained tee to green, and he just has an average day on the greens, I think he can go really low as well. And again, a guy that I don't think will get a ton of ownership just because there are a lot of attractive plays at that price range.
Yeah, he's someone the one potential problem I have coming into the tournament was his approach play. So that's the one that I am going to look a little bit more in depth at. I mean, he obviously had a good strokes gained tee to green. So before I plug him in, I'm going to go check that out because that was the reason I kept him out of my player pool. But the other thing, real quick, I looked up Abe Ancer's price. It's 9,300. Just don't want to leave you hanging. My last one here, I've got Chris Kirk. He's someone we spoke about last week. He's someone we spoke about on the live show. I still like him. Comes in 7,600. He was -4 in round 1, 5 birdies, 1 bogey, 5 straight rounds at least 4 under par. So he was 65 every round last week, and he came out with a -4, 68 today.
That's super impressive.
Just super like consistently good golf right now. Looked into his Nicklaus course history specifically. He's a little bit I want to say these it's not every year, but maybe from about 2015 to the present. 69, 68, 65, 69. So, the -369s aren't going to necessarily carry you. But he hit a -7. So he can go out there and score on the course. So I really like it. Last thing, his strokes gained today. He was over a stroke on 3 of the 4. And then I looked into his off the tee a little bit. He also put one in the water off the tee. So, he would be probably over a stroke gained off the tee if not for that. And that was the one that he bogeyed. So, the reality is that stadium course, one swing can cause you to really just, it can be worth 2 or 3 strokes. Yeah. So, I don't hold that against it as much as a guy that's out there spraying it off the tee all over the course, I think his ball striking's in a good place. I think his game generally is in a good place. I'm going to roll with Chris Kirk again.
A golfer I really like, I kind of thought he might relax a little bit after like an intense Sunday at the Sony Open. He got his card. Maybe he wasn't like as laser focused coming into the Amex Express, the American Express. But he is. I mean, I think he's just like when he's on, he's a really good golfer, and I think he's just on right now. So why not ride it? continue to ride it.
I will.
Thank you everybody for watching. Make sure to subscribe to our channel. Do us a solid there. And then comment if you are going to join us tomorrow. We would appreciate it. Chat a little bit about Saturday.
Well, yeah.
9:30 p.m.
Let us know too who you like tomorrow. Plant your flag. Yeah. Let us know if it's someone we don't have. But yeah, if not, we'll see 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific.
Give us a thumbs up. See you guys.
See you guys.